Good evening all, I am Yoga Priya from KPV GMC Trichy. Today I am here to present a case of inguinal hernia. Patient details. A 50-year-old male, Mr. Ramu, who is manual laborer by occupation, who resides in 7th Cross, Thilai Nagar, Trichy, presented with a chief complaints of swelling in the right groin for the past 1 year. History of presenting illness. Patient was apparently normal before 1 year. Then he noticed a swelling in his right groin region, which was initially smaller in size, about 2 inches, and then gradually progressed to the current size, reaching up to scrotum.
Proceed.
Swelling increases in size on standing and on coughing. Swelling decreases in size on lying down and disappears on manipulation, that is by reducing himself by pushing it with his fingers. And no history suggestive of obstruction like vomiting, abdominal distension, bloating, constipation, and mass per abdomen. No history suggestive of strangulation like acute onset of severe pain, recent increase in the size of the swelling. And he has a chronic cough with sputum for the past 20 years. No history of straining on defecation. No history of increased weightlifting or heavy muscles. No history of lower urinary tract symptoms like increase in frequency, urgency, dysuria, or straining to void. Past history. No history of similar complaints.
1 minute, ma. Go, friend. Go to the previous slide. So, what is the significance of history of presenting illness, please? Okay, next slide. Here, you should add the associated pain is there or not, ma. Any associated complaint is there along with swelling, okay? Okay, what is the significance of chronic cough in this patient?
So chronic cough will cause increased intra-abdominal pressure, sir. So it may cause hernia. It may predispose to hernia.
Okay. In swelling, while describing the swelling, few more points should also be added. Duration of the swelling, along with onset, and the onset of the swelling should also be added. Whether it is a spontaneous onset or sudden, gradual onset is there, or a spontaneous onset is there, should be added. Hernia can occur as a sudden hernia. It can also sometimes occur as a gradual. Most commonly, the swelling will be gradual in onset. Slowly, it will increase in size. Okay, sometimes there may be spontaneous hernia that may be due to heavy straining. It can lead to muscle tear. That can cause acute onset of swelling. Okay, so onset of the swelling should be added.
Yes,
okay, proceed with past history, please.
Past history. No history of similar complaints in the past. Patient is a known case of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease for the past 15 years, and he is on bronchodilators. Not a known case of diabetes mellitus, hypertension, TB, and asthma. No previous abdominal or groin surgery.
Next.
Treatment history. Patient is on bronchodilators, levosalbutamol, for the past 15 years for COPD. No history of allergy to any medications. Family history. No history of any connective tissue disorders in the family. Personal history. Normal bowel and bladder habits. Normal appetite. He takes both vegetarian and non-vegetarian diet. He has a history of smoking for the past 30 years, 2 packs per day. History of alcohol consumption for the past 30 years.
Proceed, please.
General examination.
No. From history, what will be your provisional diagnosis from history?
So it can be a probable case of hernia.
From history taking, what will be your probable diagnosis? That is your provisional diagnosis.
Sir, since the patient gives a history of reducible swelling and also expansile cough impulse, it can be a hernial swelling.
Okay. What are the other swelling that can occur in the inguinal region?
Sir, other than hernia, sir?
Yeah.
Any lymph node enlargement,
okay.
or Safina varix, and femoral artery aneurysms.
psoas abscess,
Psoas
psoas
abscess.
mastitis can also occur.
Any hematoma following any trauma?
Sure. Okay. So your provisional diagnosis is some inguinal swelling, right?
Yes.
Your provisional diagnosis will be an inguinal swelling, which is more likely to be a hernia because of the what are the factors, what are the points from history that is suggestive of hernia?
Sir, it is a
What are the
reducible
points?
swelling.
Okay.
And expansile cough.
I think that expansile cough impulse can be inspectory findings,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Patient cannot tell that expansile cough impulse is present. Maybe can say that on coughing it gets even an increase in size of swelling can be present. Okay.
Yes.
So coughing as
Yes.
staining can increase the size of swelling. So what are the other swellings where cough impulse will be present?
Laryngocele.
Okay.
Meningocele.
Okay. A lower vascular pathology.
Safina varix. Varicocele.
Okay. Varicocele. I don't think the varicocele is present with the cough impulse. In fact, varicose vein.
Yes.
Okay. That we will have a Morrissey's cough impulse test will be positive, right?
Yes, sir.
While discussing about varicocele, we will discuss about
Yes, sir.
cough impulse positive. That sign is called as Morrissey's cough impulse. Okay. So at least we should answer
Okay.
3 points. Most commonly laryngocele, varicose vein, and as you said, other possible. Okay.
Sir.
So proceed with the general examination, please.
General examination.
Yes.
Examined in a well-lighted room. Patient is conscious, well-oriented to time, place, and person, and comfortable at rest. Patient is moderately built and moderately nourished and afebrile. Weight 65 kilograms. Height 160 centimeter. BMI is 24.8 kilogram per meter square.
Okay.
Vitals. Pulse 82 beats per minute. Normal in volume and rhythm. BP 126/80 millimeters of mercury. Measured in right upper arm in supine position. Respiratory rate 18 cycles per minute. No pallor, no icterus, no cyanosis, no clubbing, no generalized lymphadenopathy, no edema. Local examination of the inguinal region. After getting consent from the patient and ensuring his privacy, examination was done in a well-lighted room. Examination was done on both standing and supine position and exposed from nipple to mid-thigh. Inspection. A pyriform shaped swelling is present in the right inguinal region, extending from medial side of mid-inguinal point up to the scrotum of size 8x4x3 centimeter. Skin over the swelling is normal. So shall I proceed?
In scrotum, we have root of the scrotum, base of the scrotum. Right. Can you please explain the extension of the swelling, ma'am?
Sir, it extends from mid-inguinal point, from medial side of mid-inguinal point up to the scrotum, but not touching the bottom of the scrotum. Sir, it was midway.
So there should be some landmarks, maybe 2 or 3 centimeter from the root of the scrotum. Likewise, you have tell some landmarks. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Please proceed.
Skin over the swelling is normal and the surface is smooth.
Okay.
Margins are well defined. Cough impulse is present and the swelling is reduced on lying down. Visible peristalsis could not be appreciated and no visible pulsation, no engorgement of veins. Penis is slightly pushed to the left side. The opposite side inguinal region appears to be normal. External genitalia appears to be normal.
Okay.
Palpation.
Mhm.
Inspector findings are confirmed by palpation. Skin is non-tender and there is no local rise in temperature. A pyriform shaped swelling of size 8 cross 3 cross 3 centimeter, extending from medial to the mid-inguinal point to the upper pole of the right testis. Surface of the
Okay.
swelling is smooth and the margins are well defined. Consistency is soft and elastic. Surrounding skin is normal. Swelling is reducible. Difficulty in reducing the first part and reduces with a gurgling sound.
Okay.
Expansile cough impulse is present. Peristalsis can be felt. No visible pulsations. Cannot get above the swelling. Testis is palpated separately. On performing deep ring occlusion test, swelling does not appear on occluding the deep ring, and on removing the thumb, swelling appears. Siemens test, swelling is felt over the index ring over the deep inguinal ring. Finger invagination test, swelling is felt over the tip of the little finger.
Okay.
On percussion, it is resonant. Auscultation could not appreciate the peristaltic bowel sounds well. Examination of inguinal lymph nodes, normal. Examination of opposite inguinoscrotal region, it is normal and there is no swelling present. Examination of external genitalia. Skin of the scrotum appears normal. Both the testis is normal and palpable, and both the spermatic cord are normal and palpable. Penis, no phimosis, normal urethral meatus, no discharge, no stricture urethra.
Okay.
Examination of abdominal muscle tone. No undue protrusion of abdominal muscles on standing. No Malgagni bulging or seen. Tone of abdominal muscle is normal. Perrectal examination is not done. On performing other system examination, respiratory system, on inspection, it was barrel-shaped chest, and on auscultation, decreased breath sounds, prolonged expiration, and coarse crackles at the beginning of the inspiration. Cardiovascular system, S1 and S2 heard, no murmur heard. CNS, no focal neurological deficit. Summary, sir.
Yeah, please.
A 50-year-old male, Mr. Ramu, who is manual laborer by occupation, with a history of smoking for the past 30 years and COPD for 15 years, presented with reducible inguinal swelling for the past 1 year and positive for expansile cough impulse and no history suggestive of obstruction or strangulation. On examination, swelling did not appear on occluding deep ring and it was felt over the index finger in the Siemens test.
Okay. So diagnosis is?
Is a case of right-sided indirect incomplete inguinal hernia which is uncomplicated and contains enterocele.
Okay. What are the positive findings to tell this hernia as an indirect hernia from history and examination points?
Yes,
What are the points favoring it to be an indirect inguinal hernia?
it is a pyriform shaped swelling, sir.
Okay. From inspection, it is a pyriform shaped swelling.
Yes, sir. On doing examination, on performing the deep ring occlusion test, we can tell that it is a indirect hernia, sir, because we are occluding the deep ring. So on occluding the deep ring, the swelling did not appear. Whereas while
what is the
removing
landmark for deep inguinal ring? Okay. What is the landmark for deep inguinal ring?
it is 1.25 centimeter above the mid inguinal point, sir.
The mid inguinal point lies between?
It lies between anterior superior iliac spine to the pubic symphysis.
Okay. What will be just behind it? What is the significance of mid inguinal point?
Deep
Just
ring,
1.25 centimeter above the mid inguinal point, there lies the deep inguinal ring. What lies
yes,
just behind the mid inguinal point?
Femoral artery.
Yeah.
Femoral artery.
Femoral artery. Yeah, right. So femoral artery pulsation will be present just over the mid inguinal point. Okay. So what are the other tests you performed?
It's a 3-finger test or Zeeman test, sir.
How to perform it?
We have to place the index finger over the deep ring and middle finger over the
Position of the
sir?
patient, please. Positioning of the patient, please.
Yes, sir.
How we will
So
position the
first,
patient?
first the swelling has to be reduced in supine position, and we must ask the
Okay.
patient to stand up, and we must place our with the help of our right hand. We must place our index finger over the deep ring and middle finger over the superficial ring, and the fourth finger over the saphenous opening, ring finger.
Okay. So, what is the landmark for superficial inguinal ring?
Superficial inguinal ring lies above the pubic tubercle, sir.
Above and lateral to the pubic tubercle.
Slightly medial to the.
Medial.
Okay, sir.
Lateral or medial? Lateral,
medial,
okay.
Sir.
Above and lateral to the pubic tubercle.
Okay, sir.
For examining the right sided hernia, you will be using your right hand. And for examining the left sided hernia, you will be using your left hand. Okay. So, what is the landmark for saphenous opening?
Saphenous opening lies 4 cm lateral and below the pubic tubercle.
Okay. So, how we will reduce the swelling, reduce the hernia?
Sir, on lying down position, sometimes patient can reduce.
What is taxis? What is
taxis? Is a procedure. Taxis is a procedure used to reduce the swelling, in which the patient is asked to be in supine position. The knees are flexed and the legs are adducted and medially internally rotated, sir, so that it will relax the abdominal muscles, and swelling can be easily
reduced. What are the
reduced.
Complications you can face while reducing the swelling?
While folds is reducing, we can rupture the contents, sir, and we can also the strangulated portion may not be sometimes relieved on reducing.
Two things. The first thing is a rupture of the content. The intestine, if bowel is the content, bowel perforation can occur. If not, there may be rupture of the hernial sac and the content can be reduced extraperitoneally. The hernial sac can itself rupture and the content can be reduced extraperitoneally. It won't go inside the peritoneum. It will remain in the extraperitoneal space. It can also be one of the complications of post reduction of hernia. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what are the tests you performed?
So finger invagination test.
How to do this now?
Finger invagination test can be done only in male patient. The patient is asked to be in supine position, and with the help of the tip of the little finger, we must reduce the swelling, and we must introduce a tip of the little finger inside the superficial inguinal ring, and we have to rotate it slightly medially so that the medial side, so that the pulp faces the medial side of the body. And if we ask the patient to cough, if a swelling is felt over the pulp, it is direct, whereas if it is felt over the tip of the little finger, it is an indirect.
Okay. So you will just take the cough impulse in case of adult patient. In children's, even the hernia can occur in children's also, right? So in children's, we can't make them to cough. We can't ask the children to cough. So what other techniques will be used in the children's to demonstrate hernia?
Sir, like crying so that intra-abdominal pressure can increase and we can feel, we can stimulate the child.
We can make the child to cry. Another thing is that by holding the child and lifting it with the abdomen, we will hold the child in the abdomen, and at the examiner lifting it. This will also increase intra-abdominal pressure manually. Okay, and you can make the child to cry and examine for hernia even. So, what about the content of the sac in your case?
It can be intestine or omentum, sir.
In your case, whether it is intestine or omentum?
In my case, it is intestines.
So what are the findings that supports your diagnosis?
Yes, sir. On palpation, it is soft and it is elastic. On an attempt to reduce it, it is very difficult to reduce the initial part, whereas the distal part is easily reduced. And while reducing, it produces a gurgling sound. And
Okay.
sometimes, if it is intestine, we can appreciate the peristalsis. And on auscultation, we'll get a resonant tone. Sorry, on percussion. And on auscultation, we can feel peristalsis.
Why it is resonant?
Because intestine is a hollow viscous organ, so resonance.
Okay. Why it is difficult in reducing initially and then it goes in easily?
Sir, because it is a hollow viscous organ, contains air within the lumen. So while reducing, it may get stuck in the initial portion.
Okay. Initially, there will be crowding of intestines. Yeah, initially there will be crowding of intestine. So initially, when we are reducing it, the first limb that enters into the peritoneal cavity will be difficult. If you direct the first loop inside, the other loops will follow it easily. So directing and pushing the first loop inside will be very difficult. If you directed the first loop inside, then other loops will follow it easy and get inside. So what are the features you can find when the omentum is the content? What are the features that will be present when the omentum is the content?
Okay, sir. If omentum is the content, on palpation, it will be in a granular and duffy feeling. And while reducing, the first part will be easily reduced, while it will be difficult in reducing the distal part. And on auscultation, it is dull note. Yes, sir.
Percussion, it is dull note.
Sorry. With percussion, it is dull note.
Okay, ma. So why it is easy to, why it is difficult while reducing the last part of the momentum? Why
because
it is
the
difficult?
terminal part, it will be adhere to the sac. It is very broad and adhere to the sac.
So what are the parts of hernial sac?
Neck, body, and fundus.
Which is the narrowest part of the hernial sac?
Neck is the narrowest part.
So name a hernia which has no sac.
Epigastric hernia.
Yeah, very good. So what are the layers of hernia? The commonly asked question. What are the layers of hernia? Layers of indirect inguinal hernia, maybe.
Yes,
from skin you start.
Yes, sir. Skin. Wait, one.
What are the layers of inguinal hernia? Indirect inguinal hernia, preferably.
Yes, sir.
Skin. Then.
Sir, can I tell it from inside out, sir? Because I think.
Yeah, sure. Please.
Over the intestine, there will be peritoneum and fascia transversalis and transverse abdominis muscle.
Muscle. Content of hernia. When after hernia occurs, muscle won't enter into the hernial sac, right?
Yes, sir.
So it will be skin, subcutaneous tissues, then external spermatic fascia. Okay.
Cremastic muscle.
Cremastic muscle. Then comes the internal spermatic fascia and peritoneum. Okay.
Okay.
So, what is Hasselbalch's triangle?
It's the weakest part in the abdominal wall. It is bounded medially by the lateral border of rectus abdominis and laterally by the inferior epigastric artery, and below it is inguinal ligament.
Okay, what type of hernia is more common in Hasselbalch's triangle?
Direct hernia is more common in Hasselbalch's triangle.
Okay, direct hernia is common at which age group?
Sir?
Direct hernia is common at which age group?
Direct hernia is more common in elderly age groups.
Why? Because
Sorry,
of
sir, I can't.
weaker. No, what is the reason? It is why it is common in older age group?
Because the abdominal muscle will be weakened in the older age group, so it's more prone
Correct.
for hernia.
Okay. So, what are the physiological mechanisms that protect us from hernia, inguinal hernia? Protective mechanisms against
So
inguinal hernia.
the obliquity of the inguinal canal
Okay.
and shutter mechanism, which is due to arched fibers of the internal oblique, will give a shutter mechanism, and
Okay.
flap valve mechanism, ball valve mechanism, slit valve mechanism.
Flap valve mechanism is not this proven technique. It is just given only in the book written by Dr. Rajamahendran sir. Even
Okay.
Stabiston doesn't contain that. Okay. So, what is the other
Okay.
name for inguinal ligament?
Pauper's ligament.
Yeah, it is named after the person who discovered it. Okay.
Okay.
So you should learn about the coverings of inguinal hernia. That is more important. Commonly asked question. Okay. In case of indirect, from inside out, it will be peritoneum, internal spermatic, cremastic, and external spermatic fascia. Okay. In case of
Okay.
direct hernia, there will be presence of transversal fascia. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what will be the nature of the sac? Hernial sac. What is the color of the hernial sac? You can see.
Pale grayish white. I don't know.
It will be defined as a pearly white color. Okay. It will be defined
Okay.
as a pearly white color. So what is the structure that is present in female? That is that replace. In male, you say the content of inguinal canal will be spermatic cord, right? In female, what will be the
No, sir.
counterpart?
Round ligament of uterus.
Okay. What are the contents of spermatic cord?
Yes, sir.
What are the
Testicular
contents of
artery.
spermatic cord? Okay.
Testicular artery, campaniform plexus of wings, vas deferens, artery to vas deferens,
Mm.
and genital branch of genitofemoral nerve, and some
Okay.
sympathetic nerve plexus, cremastic artery, and vein.
Domestic artery. Okay. So, what is space of? What is the space of Reitzer? Reitzer. Space of Reitzer. Where it is located?
Terla, sir.
It is a retropubic space, okay? Retropubic space, and this will form the medial end of the hernial sac. Okay, this is the site where the recurrent hernia is more common. This is the site where the recurrent hernia is more common. Okay, medial aspect of the hernial sac. Okay, so how will you proceed with this case? I have received the case and you have diagnosed the case to be an indirect inguinal hernia now. Now, how we will proceed?
So,
What are the investigation you will do?
we can do investigation. Basic investigations we will do, sir. Hemogram,
Okay.
bleeding time, clotting time, urine, and investigations to assess anesthesia status, like ECG and chest X-rays.
Okay.
And in this case, X-ray, and we must ask the patient to quit smoking in this case, sir, at least 2 weeks before the surgery.
Oh, after surgery?
And after, he should quit the smoking, sir.
Total abstinence is required. Okay, just not before 2 weeks alone. Total abstinence of smoking should be advised for the patient. Another rehabilitation technique should be advised for this patient. Okay, because even after surgery, if patient continues smoking, he may cough, and this can cause recurrence. Okay, smoking will contribute to hernia in two ways: by directly causing defect in the collagen metabolism, and also by causing cough.
Cough.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next.
Next, it is a surgical treatment, sir. You can do lichen steel tension-free mesh repair.
Okay. Lichen tension-free mesh repair. What are the other investigations you will be doing it? Yeah, you detected that it is a enterocoel, right? I mean, content of the hernia sac is intestines, right? How will you confirm it? What investigation you will do to confirm the content?
USG, sir.
Yeah, ultrasound local part can be done. Okay.
And it
The
will help
other,
to identify the occult hernia in the opposite side too.
and also the other important feature of ultrasound is that ultrasound, okay, is used to detect the content. In case if intestine is present, we can check the viability of the intestine by ultrasound. In case of obese people, because of the increased abdominal fat content, we cannot make out the peristalsis or bowel sound clearly. In such cases, you can go for ultrasound and see the bowel peristalsis, okay, whether the bowel is viable or not. In case of non-viable bowel, you should go for immediate surgery because it may go for gangrene, okay. So to prevent gangrene,
Yes,
you should go for immediate surgery. So the ultrasound is useful to detect whether the bowel inside the sac is viable or not. Okay. So
okay,
what
sir.
other investigations you can go for? Chest X-ray is done. Okay. Then what else? You can go for skin
What?
smearing. Okay. Usually in corporate setups, they will do a skin smearing. Okay. A smear of skin
Yes,
will be
sir.
taken. Okay. Skin will be peeled off or scratched off and will be sent for pathological examination to detect any collagen deficiency disorder is present or not. Okay. This can be done because in
Okay.
case of even after surgery, if any collagen deficiency or collagen defect is present, the patient can land up with recurrence. So skin
Okay,
smear
sir.
examination can be done. Okay, this is nowhere given. It is given only in a book named as Mainco. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So then how will you be proceeding? You'll be going for Liechtenstein tension-free hernioplasty, right?
Yes, sir.
So what mesh you will be using? What are the characteristics of ideal mesh?
Sir, it is of to be low density, lightweighted, and
Okay.
large pores,
Mm.
easily available, low cost
Mm.
mesh.
What are the other techniques, why
Sir,
can't you go for a
in surgery,
laparoscopic repair for this patient?
yes, sir, we can go
You can even go for
laparoscopic.
a laparoscopic repair for this patient. Okay.
Yes,
So what are the other open techniques?
Bassinis and shoulders.
Okay. What is Bessonese repair?
Sir, in Bassinis repair, sutures between the external oblique aponeurosis and conjoint tendons. A single continuous suture is made between.
External oblique. Okay. What is conjoint tendon made of?
The conjoint tendon is made up of internal oblique muscle and transverse abdominis muscle. The tendon of both the muscles join together to form conjoint tendon.
So first thing you should, in treatment of hernia, surgical treatment, there will be three things. Okay. Herniotomy, herniorrhaphy, and hernioplasty. Okay. Herniotomy is
Yes,
usually preferably done in children's,
yes, sir.
where we will just open the hernia sac and ligate it. Nothing more is done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in
Yes, sir.
herniorrhaphy, we will be strengthening the posterior wall. Posterior wall of the inguinal region will be strengthened. That is herniorrhaphy. Hernioplasty is mesh repair. Okay. This Bessonese and shoulders repair comes under herniorrhaphy. Okay. In Bessonese
Yes,
repair,
sir.
there will be a three-layered repair. Okay. In nowadays we are doing modified Bessonese. Previously, when Bessonese repair is done, the fascia transversalis will be divided. Okay, will be divided, and the upper and
Yes, sir.
lower lip of the fascia transversalis will be separately sutured with the inguinal ligament. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So two layers of the fascia transversalis will be separately approximated. Okay, and the internal oblique
Yes,
muscle
sir.
will be separately approximated. That is, conjoint tendon will be separately approximated. This is, I mean, above superiorly there will be three layers. There is conjoint tendon and the upper and lower leaf of the fascia transversalis. Inferiorly, there will be the inguinal ligament and the reflected part of inguinal ligament. These are three superior parts will be sutured with the two inferior parts. This is Bessini's repair. Nowadays, we are using modified Bessini's repair. Okay, here you won't divide the fascia transversalis. Instead, you will just suture the conjoint tendon with the inguinal ligament. Conjoint
Yes, sir.
tendon will be sutured with the inguinal ligament. Here we will be using nowadays we are using a synthetic non-absorbable suture material like Prolene. Okay, one Prolene will be used here. Prolene is a
Okay.
synthetic non-absorbable suture material. Okay, in
Yes.
shoulders technique, there will be a shoulder technique is a four-layer technique. Okay, here the fascia transversalis will be divided, and the conjoint tendon will also be divided. Okay, they will be separately sutured to the inguinal ligaments. The lower
Okay,
lip
sir.
of the fascia transversalis and the upper lip of the fascia transversalis and the other two muscles of the conjoint tendon will be separately sutured with the inguinal ligament. So 4:2. That is the shoulders repair, and Bessini's repair will be 3:2, and modified Bessini's will be conjoint tendon just with the inguinal ligament. Okay, these are modifications of Hernio Raffi. These are done to strengthen the
Strengthen the
posterior
posture.
wall. Okay, that's it. So what will be the complication of it? Herniorrhaphy. So why don't you prefer herniorrhaphy in your case? Why you just wanted to go for Liechtenstein hernioplasty?
So since we are approximating it, it can cause shrinkage,
First thing is that it will be
increase
full
in
of tension.
tension.
Yeah. So because of tension, that can
Yes.
lead to pain.
Yes.
The lower abdominal muscle will be in pain. So what is the pain called as? What is the name given for this? What is inguinodynia?
Pain.
What is inguinodynia? Inguinodynia is inguinal pain, postoperative inguinal pain that can occur both in hernioplasty and Raffi due to the entrapment of nerves. Okay, sometimes the
Yes,
nerve
sir.
can get entrapped inside the mesh, or it can get entrapped inside between the sutures. This can cause
Okay, sir.
postoperative pain. So this is called as inguinodynia. Okay, so we are going for Liechtenstein tension-free hernioplasty, that is mesh repair. Okay,
Yes, sir.
then laparoscopic technique. If you are going for laparoscopic technique, what are the advantages of laparoscopy over open repair?
Sure. Reduced bleeding and
Mm-hmm.
post-operative recovery period is shorter in case of laparoscopic surgery,
Okay,
and recurrence is very low in case of laparoscopics.
okay. And the recurrence depends upon the exposition. Okay, depending upon the technique that the doctor is using, surgeon is using, the recurrence will vary. Okay, so what are the types of laparoscopic repair you know?
TEP and TAP, totally extraperitoneal and
Mhm.
transabdominal periperitoneal laparoscopic procedure.
In TAP, we will be entering into the abdominal cavity and then we will be reducing it from inside. In case of TEP, we won't enter into the abdominal cavity. We will create a space in the extraperitoneally. In between the subcutaneous tissue and the peritoneum, we will create a space and we will be doing the repair. Okay. What is Maydell's hernia?
Yes, sir.
What is
Maidens.
Maydell's hernia? Maydl. Maydell's hernia.
It is large sac with if the it is a double looped intestinal content. Yes.
Okay. There will be a W-shaped loop. Okay, in this type of hernia, there will be a W-shaped loop.
Yes.
So, what is its significance? If there
Yes.
is a Maydell's hernia, intraoperatively, what we should look for?
Sir, usually the meaning
In case of metal hernia,
the
there will be
bowel starts
W-shaped loop.
necrosing in the proximal part, sir. In the joining bowel will be starting to necrose in the joining portion of the two loops, sir. So externally, we may not be able to appreciate if any
The
gangrene.
gangrenous part will be inside the peritoneal cavity. Okay, so the gangrenous part will be inside the peritoneal cavity. So on intraoperative and seeing
Yes,
from
sir.
outside, the loop which we see will be very normal. The loop which is inside the peritoneal cavity will be gangrenous. So in case of Maydell's hernia, we should take out the loop and totally we should examine all the parts, all the loops. Okay. So if you leave a
Yes, sir.
gangrenous loop inside the abdomen cavity, what will happen?
Sir?
If you are a surgeon there, you are leaving
Yes,
a
sir.
gangrenous part inside the abdomen. What are the complications that you will be facing? If the gangrenous part of the loop is not taken.
Entire intestine will start going into gangrene infection.
Sepsis will set up and peritonitis can develop. Okay, peritonitis can develop and the reactive ascites can develop and patient can go for sepsis, septic shock even, and the gangrenous part can go for perforation even, and patient can even die of sepsis. Okay.
Yes.
So what are the other types of hernia you know? I mean, what is Richter's hernia? What is
Richter's hernia is a hernia wherein only a small portion of the bowel gets entrapped.
Small portion of the bowel means?
Only a small part of the wall.
Yeah, part of the wall. That is a part of the circumference of the bowel will be involved. Okay. The entire lumen will not be involved. Either anterior wall, or either one wall of the bowel will be the content of it. Okay. This type of hernia can never go for obstruction, but it can directly go for strangulation. Okay. In case of Richter's hernia, as only one wall of the hernia, there's only one wall of the hernia is one wall of the bowel gets involved, it can never go for obstruction. Okay. It can directly go for strangulation because of venous congestion and edema. This is the point to be noted in Richter's hernia. What is Litter's hernia?
Litter's hernia, if the hernial content is Meckel's diverticulum, it is called Litter's hernia. Meckel's diverticulum.
Okay. So, what will be the average length of the inguinal canal now?
It's 4 centimeters.
Okay. What will be the shape of the superficial inguinal ring?
Superficial inguinal ring is triangular in shape.
Superficial inguinal ring is triangular in shape. It is it is present in which layer?
Inguinal ligament. Inguinal ligament.
Superficial inguinal ring is formed by, it is an opening in
external oblique aponeuris.
That is, yeah. Superficial inguinal ring is opening in the external oblique aponeuris. So it is usually triangular in shape. Okay. So what is Pantaloon's hernia?
Okay, sir.
What is Pantaloon's hernia?
If both direct and indirect hernia is present, then it is Pantaloon's hernia.
Okay, this is more common. This Pantaloon's hernia will be common in which age group of people now?
Older age group, sir.
Yeah. How? Because in older age group, the muscles can get weaker. Because of that, it can go for direct hernia, and also they are more prone to get some diseases like BPH, etc. Okay. Because of the training, they can go for even indirect hernial sac can also be present, or else even the indirect hernial sac can be present from birth, which can be rudiment. Okay, it can become dormant, and that can develop into hernia in later stages. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what are the complications of hernia, inguinal hernia? So what are the if your patient is not willing for surgery and he has a poor compliance, he's going home, what are the complications he can face?
Sir, it can go in for strangulation, obstruction and strangulation, sir.
Okay, first thing is irreducibility. Okay.
Yes,
First
sir.
thing is irreducibility. Next, the patient will go for obstruction
Obstruction.
and then strangulation. What is incarcerated hernia?
The obstructed hernia is also called incarcerated
No,
hernia.
no. When the
There
bowel
is, sir.
content, okay, when the bowel content or the feces gets accumulated inside the hernia, it gets stagnant inside
Yes,
the
sir.
hernia. Okay, inside the bowel loop inside the hernial loop. Okay, the bowel content
Yes, sir.
or the feces gets impacted inside the bowel loop that is present within the hernial sac and it gets inflamed. Okay, this is incarcerated hernia. Okay, but
Yes,
in
sir.
what situations inflammation will be present in hernial sac? What are
If
the
the
conditions?
content is
Hmm. Yeah.
if the content is appendix, it may go in for inflammation.
What else? What else can go
Mecus
for?
diverticulum.
Okay. And then sometimes ovary can also be a content in case of females. Okay. That can also go for
Yes, sir.
inflammation.
Yes, sir.
So are you thorough about the NIAS classification of hernia?
Yes, there's a European something.
Okay. So any other classifications you know in hernia?
Gilbert classification.
Okay. Then any other classification? Just name it alone. Just not need to explain it. Name the other classifications of hernia, you know.
Nice Gilbert European hernia.
There are a few other
Avra
classifications.
Satelu.
There are a few other classifications like Ben David classification and Rutko and Robbins classifications will be there. Okay, this is just for information sake. There are other classifications like Ben David classification of hernia
Yes,
and the
sir.
Rutko and Robbins classification is a modified classification of Gilbert's classification. Okay, it's a modified Gilbert's classification is called as Rutko and Robbins classification, but commonly used is Niger's classification of hernia. Okay. Intraoperatively,
Yes, sir.
how you will differentiate between direct and indirect inguinal hernia?
With
Intraoperatively,
the
how you will
help of
differentiate.
inferior epigastric artery. If it is medial to the inferior epigastric artery, it is direct hernia, and if it is later, it is indirect hernia.
Okay. What anesthesia you will prefer in case of hernia hernial repair? You are a surgeon. What anesthesia you will be asking the anesthetist to give in this case?
In this case, sir,
Hmm.
since he is a COPD patient, you can go for local anesthesia, spinal anesthesia.
Spinal anesthesia comes under what type of anesthesia? It's whether it is a local, regional, or a general.
Regional.
Yeah, it comes under regional anesthesia. Okay, we can go for spinal anesthesia also. And even local anesthesia can be also used for surgery. Okay, there is a hospital called as Sholes Hospital in Toronto, US. Okay, this hospital is meant only for
Yes, sir.
hernia. The Sholes Hospital is meant only for hernia, and the surgeons over there will perform only hernia. And they devised a technique called Sholes repair, and they will do the technique only in local anesthesia. In fact, local anesthesia will be a better option. Patient can walk inside the room theater and can walk outside the theater also. Okay. After surgery, patient can be made walk. Okay, can be made to walk. In case of spinal anesthesia, the spinal anesthesia effect will remain for at least 3 to 4 hours after surgery. Patient cannot move his lower limb for 3 to 4 hours after surgery. But in case of local anesthesia, patient can move immediately after surgery. Patient can be asked to walk out of the theater immediately after surgery And the post-operative pain relief will be very good in case of local anesthesia. And also,
Okay.
intraoperatively, we can check whether the recurrence is there or not. I mean, whether the repair is properly done or not. You can ask the patient to strain intraoperatively. Voluntarily, a
Yes,
patient
sir.
can strain when it is done under local anesthesia. But this is not commonly done here
Yes, sir.
because what are the disadvantages of using local anesthesia is that it takes longer time. Your surgeon must infiltrate the local anesthesia layer by layer. I should infiltrate the local anesthesia and then I should open the skin and then take one more dose of local anesthesia. I should inject inside the subcutaneous space and then open it. And layer by layer, injection of local anesthesia and procedure should be done. That will take some long duration of time for surgery, and also relaxation will be very poor. In case of spinal anesthesia, relaxation will be very good in this case. Relaxation of muscle will be easier, so the suturing will be easier in this case. Okay, and spinal anesthesia is better option because it will have a good relaxation, and surgeon can be free of stress because you need not pull out the tissues. Tissues will be very easy for suturing. Okay, that is the advantage of spinal anesthesia. And general anesthesia is not commonly used because of the complication of the anesthetic drug that is used for giving general anesthesia is more when compared to other anesthesia like spinal anesthesia. Okay, and in this case,
Yes.
general anesthesia is not preferred because patient is a known case of COPD, so his lung compliance will be very poor. So after inducing coma, after sedating the patient, he can go for respiratory failure. So we should go for artificial respiration by intubating the patient. As he is a known case of COPD, his lung compliance will be very poor. So in case of COPD patients, general anesthesia is usually not preferred by anesthetists even. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Most important complication of spinal anesthesia is that patient can go for hypotension. That is the most important complication of spinal anesthesia. And then patient can go for spinal shock and also can go for anesthetic drug. Drug reactions can also occur. Okay. There are many
Yes,
histories
sir.
that patient have died even after spinal anesthesia. That's a histories with the patient dying after spinal anesthesia because of drug reactions. Okay. So local
Okay, sir.
anesthesia can also be
Yeah.
done and depends upon a surgeon's preference. In our setup, in our country, we are going only for spinal anesthesia. Okay. In case of laparoscopic repair, we will be going for general anesthesia. In case of laparoscopic repair, we will be going for general anesthesia. Okay. So, what is Metcalfe's technique of repair? Can anybody? Metcalfe's repair. MCVAY. MCVAY. Here, the conjoint tendon will be sutured with the ligament of Cooper. Okay. Here, the conjoint tendon will be sutured with the ligament of Cooper. The advantage of is that it prevents the femoral and inguinal hernia both. It prevents the femoral and inguinal hernia. Okay. So in case of what are the complications of laparoscopic repair? What can be the complication of TAP? What are the complications of TAP? You can go for abdominal organ injuries can occur. Okay. First thing is that anesthesia induced complications because of general anesthesia. Second is that we will be using carbon dioxide for inflating the abdomen cavity. So it itself can cause some complications. And as we're going inside the abdominal cavity, we can injure some abdominal organs too. So these are the complications of TAP. Okay. So what are the other techniques you will be knowing about it? So you should know about the other hernias too. It's more commonly not asked. Inguinal hernia will be the most important topic for you people. But you should know about the other hernias like femoral hernia, epigastric hernia, incisional hernias. Okay. And these hernias will be given better in Bailey and Love. Okay. Try to read Bailey and Love. And for the CA breast, go for Swatch textbook of surgery. For CA breast and breast-related diseases, Swatch will be better option for reading because it will be given elaborately. And for hernias, you can go for Bailey and Love. Okay. And Yoga Priya presented very well. And thank you, Ma. And shall we
Thank
close
you,
the
sir.
session now? Or any doubts for you people?
No, sir. No, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay. Ma. Shall we complete the session? Thank you, Ma. Any doubts, can please message me individually, Ma. No issues. Thank you.